Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. How are you? Mike. Got that command voice thing going. But anyway, what a great looking crowd here. We want to welcome everybody to Brian's Celebration of Life. And look at this great crowd. I would think the celebration's already a lot of success. So anyway, again, welcome very much. And like any military operation or event, I've got to do a safety brief and administrative. So the first one is the bathrooms are around the corner down there. And when we were doing the rehearsal yesterday, Todd went to the bathroom and he comes out and his shorts are totally soaking wet. And he came up with some kind of story about, well, this chain thing didn't work. So anyway, I don't know what's wrong.
So I tried to fix it. You all know my story. I was raised by a single mother and I can't fix shit.
So the only ground rule that I have is I'm the only one allowed to get weepy during the ceremony, okay? So, and I was told by somebody, herself, that that I was supposed to keep it pithy today, okay? And Mo and Kelly, you're gonna love this one, that I wasn't supposed to be channeled by my inner Uncle John. So anyway, there's a bunch of folks that I need to thank. First of all, my lovely bride, Ingrid, and Todd's been a marvelous wingman helping us put this together. The entire JU team did an outstanding job. Where's Miss Kimberly? She went into hiding once we started here. But anyway, they did a great job, and the folks that set up the food, and everybody will find the bar when the time comes. But anyway, again, they did a wonderful thing. And then lastly, I want to thank Sigma Nu for sharing their reunion with us so we could have this celebration of life for Brian. But I got to tell you, and I know I'm deviating already, honey, but this whole thing almost didn't happen. And the reason for that is, you can imagine trying to put this together and everything like that. Brian's wishes was to be cremated. So we go through the drill and everything like that, and I finally get back to the funeral home and pick him up and bring him back to the house. And a couple of days later, I'm sitting there going, I get up and I go upstairs and I'm looking around. I came back downstairs and I'm rubbing my head and getting ready to have an anxiety attack. And she's sitting in the recliner. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like, "Honey, I think I lost Bink." She's like, "You didn't lose Bink. He's sitting right next to the couch where you put him." So anyway, that's why it almost didn't happen. But for the Sigma Nu guys that are here, I'd like to see a show of hands if you never actually met him. Is there anybody that did? Okay, well, thank you very much for honoring him and being here. And again, thanks to the Sigma Nu fellows. Sigma Nu was obviously very special to Brian for a long time, and which reminds me of a story. So Ingrid went out, was losing her mind, and her sibling is the same age as Ben. Okay, so we were trying to plan a 50th birthday party, surprise birthday party. So she orders up Florida Gator shirt and USC shirt for her sister and everything like that. And then it came to my attention, Brian's like packing, getting ready to go to Jacksonville for the reunion. And I'm like, "Babe, I gotta break it to you. We're doing a 50th surprise party for you." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to Jacksonville." I'm like, "Dude, you got people coming from both sides of the family, non-refundable tickets to come and celebrate with you." He's like, "I'm going to Jacksonville." So I'm like, "All right, at least you could do is call the family that was going to come and, you know, thank them and let them know that you're not going to be here. It's like, no, you'll handle it.
That sounds
So
just
anyway,
like
that shows
sounds
us
just
that
like
they
him,
can
right?
do these
The
good.
way he-
So anyway, let me do a couple of intros. I want to welcome first of all Vice Admiral Mike Boyle. Thank you, sir, for honoring us today and being here. Captain Hill and the First Sergeant from the ROTC unit. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lot of family and friends. My Uncle Bo and my Uncle Bo. Well, that was the first mistake I made today, right? But Uncle Frank and Aunt Bo are my godparents. Thank you so much for being here. Melanie and Holly, their daughters, a bunch of other cousins. So Margaret, Mo, Judy, Joyce, Janie, Kelly, love you. Thanks for being here. And then that's on my dad's side. On mom's side, Rusty and his wife, Paula. Thank you for being here. Excuse me, I got cotton on. Family, friends, Margaret, Bob Schellberger used to work with Dad in Alaska all those years ago. Rusty Huseman and his lovely bride are here. They were neighbors when Brian and Steph first got married. Chuck next to me and his wife. Thank you for being here. Goes way back, doesn't it? Time flies when you're not paying attention. Right? So with that, I'd like to ask Rusty to come up and lead us in prayer.
This Rusty, not that Rusty. I just want to make sure we're on the same team. Before I read the prayer, I'd like to just share a couple of observations about your brother. I've known BJ for a long, long time. Met him when he first moved into the neighborhood. And he was literally right across the street from my wife and I. And I've seen two things in Brian that I hope some of you have seen to show that he was human. The first one was, I've never seen Brian show fear until he saw my wife. After wrestling with our lawnmower, Brian walks out of the garage with a cup of coffee and he sees my wife struggling to get this lawnmower. She's so angry in the back of our Jeep. Brian does this. He backed up all the way through the garage and shut the garage door. He only deduced that he was scared out of his mind to ever approach, and he never mentioned it again. The other thing was a side of Brian that really lifted my heart, and that was his compassion. Right after Brian got back from surgery, Chuck and I and a group of Brian's friends, we all got together and said, let's do something for cancer people. And so we formed a group called Kayaking for Cancer. And one of the things that Brian did, I can't remember how we did it, we were talking to the American Cancer Society and they said, hey, there's a kid that has brain cancer. Would you be willing to talk to him? So Chuck and I and Brian went over there and I saw a side of Brian that I've never seen before. He engaged and so compassionate. But he wasn't giving off this feeling of, we're both gonna die. It was a hope that he was showing this kid, look, I made it, you gotta pull through, you gotta make it. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing for us to witness. So let me begin with prayer. Oh God, the Father and the fountain and source of all goodness, we give thanks that you have kept our brother Brian in the faith and have now taken him to yourself. Comfort us with your holy word and give us strength that when our last hour comes, we may peacefully fall asleep